Hello. 25,000 candidates standing for 8,000 seats in 5,000 wards. That is the 2023 English local elections, and polls have closed and it's all over. It's been 10 p.m. That's it. My name is Ben Walker. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Britain Elects in 2023, celebrating our 10 years of doing this, 10 years of covering local elections, 10 years of council by-elections, of polls, of change in parliaments and parties. But yes, here we are, 2023. It's all over now. Polls have just closed. Only 1 hour ago, I was in my own campaign HQ just bidding goodbye to all my friends and colleagues. But here we are. My name is Ben Walker. I am the co-founder of Britain Elects. I have set it up. I set it up back in 2013 alongside my late best friend Lily Jane Summers, and I've been running it ever since. I'm also a data journalist for the New Statesman. I write there on public opinion, elections, and on all manner of good stuff. And full disclosure, for those who don't know, I am standing in this year's council elections in the city of Chester, in Cheshire West and Chester, the Chester city centre and the Garden Quarter ward, and I'm standing for the Labour Party. That does not, however, stop me, in my view, from being objective in my analysis of elections, of public opinion, and all that good stuff. Really, the proof is in the pudding. It's up for you to decide whether you think I'm biased or not. But here we are, 25,000 candidates. Billions of pounds of taxpayers' money up for grabs, control of key councils, be it Lancaster, Brighton, Swindon, Plymouth, Portsmouth, the Black Country, the whole of Greater Manchester, Leeds, West Yorkshire, the whole of the English Midlands with the exception of Birmingham, Shropshire, blooming hell, there's a lot up. This is Rishi Sunak's first electoral test as Prime Minister. If you're looking for the SEO terms, the keywords on Twitter, this is the first referendum on Rishi. This is also the first chance for us to see Labour's supposed poll surge in reality. Is Labour advancing in key locales, key battlegrounds that they need to get anywhere close to coming back to Downing Street? I want to cut through the noise. I want to talk about what to watch out for, what to keep an eye on, and I also kind of want to just say, like, don't get bought in to the hype. Don't get bought in to the expectations management and supposed benchmarks put about elsewhere. I want you to look at who is leading where. Who is leading in Swindon? Who is leading in Jacob Rees-Mogg's own backyard? Who is winning in Surrey, in Blue Wall, Britain? And in the so-called Red Wall, is Labour recovering? Are they recovering by enough to be guaranteed victory? That is what I want you to focus on, and that is the way Britain Elects has always covered things. But anyway, we've got a lot to get through. If you have any gossip, if you're going to be at the count, do let us know. My direct messages are open. If you want to @ Britain Elects, if you want to talk to me, don't @ me on Twitter. Send a direct message. There's too many people sending so much stuff. But yes, polls have now closed. We are expecting, obviously, ward results, key ward results in Sunderland, Newcastle, Broxbourne, Basildon, Halton in Runcorn on the Mersey. There's a whole host of places. But anyway, before we get into it, let's talk the polls. Let's talk about where we are today. So, I want you to go here. We're going to be looking at some numbers. These are the polls on the eve of poll. Labour is at 44% of the vote. The Conservatives are on 29% of the vote. This is what polling says where the parties are nationally, okay? Since the start of January, the Conservatives have risen from 25% to 29%. Labour has fallen from 48%, a height of, to 44%, a shift. Labour still, however, has a lead in the opinion polls of 15 percentage points. This is the best position we have seen the Labour Party in since the days of Tony Blair. Labour is going into this year's local elections in their best position since, if I remember rightly, 2001. This is a big shift. The polls have moved by a sizable proportion, basically. What we see the economy to be, who we see as the best party on the economy, has shifted too. For the past 15 years, if I remember rightly, the Conservatives had a lead on the economy. Now Labour leads on that metric for the first time in 15 years. That's a significant shift. That matters, okay? Now, there are, like I say, 8,000 council seats up for grabs in 4,000 wards. And by wards, for the uninitiated, these are boundaries, these are seats. And in certain seats, there are more than one candidate. There's more than one seat up for grabs. So, for example, if you go to Birkenhead and Tranmere ward on the Wirral, this has 3 councillors. There are around 17,000 voters and 3 council seats up for grabs. That's what I mean to say when we have 5,000 wards and 8,000 seats. I hope that makes sense to a lot of you. Firstly, we expect to see some results coming from Sunderland and Newcastle. And remember what we are comparing against. 2019. Not just the general election of 2019, but May 2019. This was in the midst of the Brexit wars. This was when Theresa May was Prime Minister. This was when we had surging support for the Lib Dems, for the Brexit Party, and we had the Tories and Labour on 31% each, or give or take thereabouts. This was a bad time to be a member, a supporter, a voter for the two main parties, because my goodness me, there was a shrinking number of you. And what that meant was in certain places like Bath and North East Somerset or Oxfordshire or parts of Hertfordshire, the Lib Dems doing incredibly well. If they hold on to their seats tonight, that Brexit war revolution for the Lib Dems in blue wall Britain isn't just a flash in the pan, it's something a little bit bigger than that. That's what I want you to watch out for. If, for example, you zoom in on here on North East Somerset, the constituency where Jacob Rees-Mogg is the MP, if the Lib Dems continue to lead in it, I wouldn't be, they might not pick up any seats, but if they continue to lead in it, that is a sign that the Lib Dem strength is still there, and it should be seen as worrying for the Conservatives. If we go up to, where could we talk about? If we go up to Grimsby and we see the Conservatives maintain their hold in seats like Park or Yarborough or Freshney, which is basically Grimsby, you can make the assumption that the Conservative vote is holding in Red Wall, England, and you'll of course need other instances, but you get the general gist of this. Seat changes aren't necessarily indicative of much, because what we are comparing against is such a different time, a different era. The composition of what the Labour vote was, the Tory vote was, is very much different. Nevertheless, we need, if the polls are to be believed, we need to see it proven. Swindon is Commuterville, England. This is 2 parliamentary constituencies, Swindon North and Swindon South, and current polling has Labour winning this part of the world very comfortably. We now need to see that reflected in seat numbers. Old Town Ward, it's very much a very tight fought marginal. We need to see Labour gain this. Lydiard and Freshbrook Ward, it went 52% Conservative, 48% Labour. This needs to be a Labour gain. Ditto in Shaw Ward, ditto in Priory Vale. You need to see Labour not just win in the town centre of Swindon, they need to be winning in the suburbs as well. And that's the thing about Labour's chances at the next election. They shouldn't just be winning in the towns and the cities, they should be winning in suburban Commuterville, England as well. Bristol is not up for grabs this year, but the outskirts of which, Bradley Stoke, Filton, Kingswood are, and we need to be seeing Labour gains in these parts of the world in South Gloucestershire. You also need to see Labour gains in places like Milton Keynes over here, where you have the Tories winning this part of the world. Will it stay like that? Or could the Lib Dems come in this seat? It's going to be very interesting. Labour needs to be showing it is advancing not just in the Red Wall, because the Red Wall gets them back to 250, 260 seats. They need to not just be winning there. They need to not just be winning in the Berries, the Boltons, the Burnleys of the world. They need to be winning in suburban Commuterville, England. This is why I ask you to keep an eye on Loughborough, Charnwood Council, where we have new boundaries, and Rugby on the way to Coventry here, North Warwickshire, Stevenage, and also the Thames Estuary. South of the Thames Estuary is Dartford and Gravesham. Gravesham, we have new boundaries, but Dartford, you should be seeing Labour gains here. And also on Medway, Gillingham, Chatham, Rochester and Stroud. New boundaries as well, but Labour should be expanding beyond the town centres. The town centres are Labour's, or what should be Labour's bedrock. They need to be expanding to the suburbs. Also, on the coast, Ramsgate has a history of voting for UKIP councillors, even though Nigel Farage himself, when he stood here in 2015, he fell short. Labour needs to be show it is winning in these parts as well. Not just Ramsgate, the Isle of Thanet, but also in Great Yarmouth too. You have a lot here where Labour has been cut down to size. They need to be showing they can expand. If you're looking to get access to this, if you're looking to read all about this, I recommend you go to the State of the Nation page on the New Statesman website. Go to sotn.newstatesman.com. Watch out for the Election Watcher's Guide to the 4th of May 2023, and you can see all the seats up for grabs, and you'll also be able to see our results page as well. The results won't be coming in until probably about 10 to 11, quarter to 11 maybe, the first ward to declare. It's going to be very interesting. There's a lot to get through here. I hope you'll be joining the Britain Elects Twitter feed to find the ward-by-ward results as they come in. We'll be looking at turnout where possible in single-member wards. We'll be giving you the turnout figures. In multi-member wards, we probably won't. The Black Country will also be interesting. This is Wolverhampton, Dudley, Sandwell and Walsall. We need to be seeing Labour expand into the outer areas of Walsall in Bloxwich and maybe even Aldridge and well. The Lib Dems have a lot, I would say, going on them. They need to be holding firm in West Oxfordshire. They need to be holding firm in Hertfordshire, but they need to be showing strength in Surrey. In Esher and Walton, Dominic Raab's constituency, which is covered by the Elmbridge Council, you need to be seeing the Lib Dems picking up seats here. This is a bit of a hard task, but it's not impossible for them. You need to be seeing the Lib Dems holding firm across much of the country. The Greens had a pretty decent year for them in 2019 in the Forest of Dean in Gloucestershire here. They won council seats that were, in 2015 at least, pretty conservative voting. This is the thing with the Greens. Throw every stereotype you have about the Green voters out the window now. They win in urban, graduate-heavy England just as much as they win in rural, retirement England as well. Mid-Suffolk, you have Green candidates scoring impressive, huge wins against the Conservatives in, how do you pronounce that? Babber, and of course Mid-Suffolk as well. The Greens need to show they can build on this, but what I think it does expose for them is that they are a localist party as opposed to a national one. They are winning seats on a national scale, but they are sort of have an appeal that is a lot more localised. In the Peak District, of course, the Greens do quite well. I was in the Peak District here. I was actually in this ward, and look at that. The Greens won it with a 3-point lead over the Conservatives. We need to see what the Greens will do this time round. Where are they expanding? Are they expanding in urban England, in Labour-led England, or are they going a little bit further afield into something a bit more countryside-based? Their activists and their voters may not look the same at all after May the 5th. There's a lot to go through here. Like I say, 8,000 seats, 5,000 wards. I'm going to be doing this all through the night, and then I have wonderful colleagues, someone who's helped me with Britain Elects for quite a while, Dale Taylor, who will be doing some of the results in the morning as I go to my own count. I can't wait for that. I'm very excited. It's going to be very good stuff indeed. The first results, like I say, are expected to be in Sunderland, in Halton here, which is very Labour heavy, Labour winning quite comfortably in this part of the world, and Newcastle as well. Who will be the first party, we don't know, but it's going to be very interesting indeed. What else can I say? This is exciting. I've been covering elections, local elections, for the past 10 years now. We are celebrating Britain Elects' 10-year anniversary. Being able to drill down to these granular neighbourhoods, these wards, is fascinating, tells a great deal of tales about local politics, and my goodness me, it just is fascinating. I must make a comment though that national broadcasters do not give wards this much attention, which is disappointing to them. When local broadcasters such as Sky News set benchmarks about seat changes, when those seat changes don't mean much, when we're comparing with May 2019, I think that's missing not just half the story, but 3/4 or 90% of the story. All right? If the Lib Dems hold their own in northeast Somerset, I wouldn't consider that a bad result for them. In fact, I will I will kind of look at this and think, goodness me, yeah, that's pretty good for them, you know? They are holding firm, they are leading in Jacob Rees-Mogg's own backyard. I would consider that a good result, okay? So, a lot to get through. Remember where the polls are today. Labour on 44%, the Conservatives are on 29%. If you want to get access to it, if you want to get access to the map without registering on State of the Nation, first of all, I say, how dare you? But I also say, and I would also say register. And I would also say, I think the link is available somewhere if you look around for it, a link to the full view of the map. Because I do believe the map, local ward-by-ward election results, should be very easily accessible. That is the reason Britain Elects exists. That is the reason we are here. And I'm not going to exactly stop at that, but there we go. Yeah, so lots to watch out for. Brighton, can the Greens hold their own? Will the Tories sweep up Labour seats, as Labour sources are telling us, and then perhaps take control of Brighton Council? Crawley, split down the middle, quite literally. Will Labour advance in these wards here, in Three Bridges, or not? Oh, I'll go back to the proper map, actually. Yeah, that's better. Milton Keynes. Are the Tories on course for a bit of a wipeout? Will the Lib Dems benefit? Let's find out. What else have we got? Leicester and Nottingham. High proportion of minority ethnic voters. Is the relationship, the positive relationship between Labour and Hindu voters and Muslim voters, is it staying the same as it was 10, 20, 30 years ago? I take the view it is at risk of fraying. Where immigrant voters, when they settle, they move from priorities of survival to priorities of pleasure, and then some form of, social views kick in, which may see losses for Labour in Leicester and Nottingham. What about Bassetlaw and Worksop? Labour did incredibly well here in 2019. Can they hold their own here in 2023? Where else? Liverpool. Suspended, a council suspended by the government over financial mismanagement, over Joe Anderson. Will Labour hold their own here, or can we see a revolt by voters as they plump for the Liberals, the Lib Dems, the Greens and independent candidates? Let's find out. What else do we have? Blackpool. Right now it is very much a 50-50 council. Can Labour advance in places like Waterloo, in Markton, in Warbreck, in Greenland and others? Will they advance further up the field on Weir Council, in Cleveleys? Let's find out. In Lancaster, will the Greens broaden their vote to take in even more Labour seats? Let's find out. Middlesbrough saw a revolt against Labour as voters went for a bunch of independent candidates, but that independent-led administration has since got itself in hot water over a whole host of issues, really. But long story short, it looks like the independent candidates in Middlesbrough will be getting a beating at the ballot box. York, the Lib Dems performed admirably, not just admirably, brilliantly, in taking all of these seats from the Conservatives. Look at that. Rural West York, it went Lib Dem 52%. Tory 34%. It was Tory in 2015. Will it stay that way? Don't have a clue. Don't know. Kingston upon Hull went Lib Dem last year, or 2021, and the Lib Dems have a majority of just one seat. Can Labour pick up one of these seats, or will the Lib Dems broaden their majority and take even more Labour votes? Let's find out. Grimsby, North East Lincolnshire here. Labour need to show they can advance. They need to be winning places like Croftbaker, like Freshney, like Yarborough Ward and others. They need to be expanding, showing that they are winning most of the seats. Let's find out if they do. The Black Country already in May 2019 voted Labour, but we need to see Labour hold on to those seats. Outside of the safer seats, Redditch, even though the town centre itself is not voting, Labour needs to show it can advance in places like Redditch. Let's find out. Maybe even Bromsgrove as well. Let's see what happens over there. There's a lot to go through, and I hope you'll be more than happy to join us over the course of this night as it progresses. We are at 20 minutes past, or more than 20 minutes past the hour. It's very good. It's very exciting. I hope you will be joining me and indulging in the results as they come in. Don't fall for the spin. Don't fall for the expectations management. Look at the results, crystal clear as can be, with our ward-by-ward results map as they come in. It's just going to be very interesting. I'm just looking around now and I'm kind of thinking, look, Sheffield, this is interesting. If anyone knows local politics, cutting down trees, councils cutting down trees is very, very damaging. And what happened when the Labour-led council cut down trees in Sheffield, you saw the Greens advance and the Lib Dems advance as well. Labour took a bit of a beating there. We're seeing the same happen to the Tory administration here in Plymouth. The expectation on the ground is that Labour will do incredibly well in Plymouth. It looks as though, as you can probably tell, that Labour may even kick the Tories out in Compton Ward, in Budsed Ward, in Southwaite Ward. Maybe more views a bit of an ask, but it looks as though the Conservatives are in trouble in Plymouth. Portsmouth is a bit of a free-for-all here. You look at that. You look at this ward, Charles Dickens Ward. Labour won it at the last election. The Labour candidate has since gone independent and is fighting it as an independent. So trouble for Labour there. The Labour Party, meanwhile, are targeting this ward. Look at that. Lib Dem 41%, Labour 26%. Labour aren't going for that ward. The Lib Dems, meanwhile, are going for this Tory ward. Conservative 35% in 2019, Liberal Democrat 25% in 2019. Let's see how that turns out. And local independent parties, Labour, whoever, are all targeting Tory seats. Will the Tories hold firm? Will they hold on to their seats in Portsmouth North, the seat of Penny Mordaunt MP? Or will they fall by the wayside? Will they get demolished? Let's find out. There's a lot to go through. I've said it many times. It's going to be very exciting. I don't know what to say to you here. All I can say this is local elections are a joy. Cutting through the noise, getting to that granular ward-by-ward result is brilliant. I set up Britain Elects because I often get the impression, I still get the impression that a lot of us living here, a lot of us in the chat, a lot of us watching on Twitter, wherever, don't truly understand the country that they live in. I'm from North Yorkshire, and on the 24th of June 2016, when a great many friends of mine, exploded, I don't know anyone who voted Leave, they kept saying. I don't know anyone who voted Leave, and I just sat there thinking, like, you don't really have a clue what country you live in. And that spurred me on to make Britain Elects into the much bigger thing it is today, to be able to cover the polls and tell you actually that Labour is on 44% and the Tories are on 29%. It wasn't always like that. I've always covered the polls, always through thick and thin, whether a certain party is doing well or not. It is a joy to do, and I want to keep doing it. So there we are. This is it. We are coming close to half past the hour, and probably our first result is on the way. If you want to be the first, if you want to keep an eye on it, if you want to, what can I say? If you want to see the first result, probably become from Sunderland or whatever, will UKIP be able to hold on to their seats, or rather will the Reform Party be able to hold on to those UKIP seats? We don't know. We don't know, do we? And we'll probably see that in the next few hours. There's a lot to go through here. We expect, if I remember rightly, we expect about 1,000 wards to declare by 6 a.m. We're expecting of 5,000. So what's that? That's 20-something% of the seats up for grabs. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to keep saying that all over again because I've got nothing else to say. What I'm also going to be trialing for you tonight is this. Will be the stream will come back. It will come back live, but what it will be streaming live from our results spreadsheet. It will be in a very crisp, clear-cut format, but what you'll be able to see is that every minute you will have a ward come up on your screen. It will show you a ward result we have entered into the spreadsheet. It will show you the percentage changes. It will show you who won it, who gained it, and that you'll be able to see on your stream. It will be a seat every minute. It doesn't. It's going to be good. It's going to be pretty good. I'm not going to be making any predictions tonight because I burnt my hand doing them before. I tried making predictions in Scotland. I buggered that up. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. So there. If you want to get a rundown of the projections, forecasts, whatever, I strongly recommend you seek out the Election Watcher's Guide on the State of the Nation website. If I'll just take you back to it over here. You can find it on sotn.newstatesman.com. Yes, you have to register. Hello, I don't do my job for free. And you keep scrolling down, and you'll be able to see a walkthrough as to what happens, but you'll also get to see local election projections from YouGov. I put this in a chart, and some of it looks about right. A great deal of it sounds about right, but some of it is also a little bit silly. For example, in East Cambridgeshire here, you have the Labour vote going up from 10% to 25%, and the Lib Dems pretty much standing still. This is East Cambridgeshire. Most voters of a progressive bent won't be running off to the Labour Party. Probably not, at least. We expect in East Cambridgeshire a lot of that vote to go to the Lib Dems, and the Lib Dems to do very well indeed. I don't think MRP projections shows that up in local results. But again, that is my opinion. And yeah, but you can find a lot of the right through as the night progresses. You can keep in touch, what to watch out for, all here on the Britain Elects Twitter, twitter.com/BritainElects, sotn.newstatesman.com for the live results map. It's going to be very, very interesting. We hope you'll join us. We hope you'll enjoy it. So, that concludes the very quick 30-minute briefer of what's up, what to watch out for, and how to get it. I'll probably be back. I might stream again. This stream will go live, probably will go live, to show you ward-by-ward results as they come in, which will be a live updating feed direct from the spreadsheet. It'll look good. It'll probably look good, and we hope you enjoy it. If you notice any errors, any bugs, please do let me know by direct messaging me on @BNHWalker or @BritainElects. If you have gossip from the count, we've had tons of gossip already. We have one gentleman saying that the Lib Dems are very confident of taking some very safe seats. I wonder if I could show you one of them now. Where is it? Where's this ward? I'm not going to pretend I even know where it is. But in Sevenoaks, one source tells me that the Lib Dems are very confident of making gains in what is a very comfortably blue backing part of the world. Let's see what happens. Only, or rather, there are alternatives, mostly on Britain Elects. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being part of this. We hope you enjoy it. It's been great. I love doing this. Sometimes it's a hobby. Sometimes I treat Britain Elects like a baby, but it's also a job. It is very exhausting. It is very exhausting. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching us. We'll be back. I'm now going to have a quick meal and get stuck in. So, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you on the other side.